Last week we learned that photosynthesis is the process in which CO2 and H2O are converted into glucose and oxygen using light energy. And we learned that photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplasts of plant cells and some algae. We also learned that cellular respiration is the process in which glucose and oxygen are rearranged back into CO2 and H2O. We learned this occurs in the mitochondria, which is found in most organism cells, including plants, animals, and fungi. We learned that during cellular respiration, the chemical energy found in glucose is moved to a new molecule called ATP. And ATP is sort of like a molecular rechargeable battery for the cell. We learned that glucose can also be used in biosynthesis to make cellulose, the macromolecule that primarily comprises a plant's biomass or biological mass. If an animal consumes this biomass from the plant, some of the molecules from the plant biomass will be used to make animal biomass. We also learned that most consumed biomass is converted into CO2 and H2O during cellular respiration. Because of this, only 10% of consumed biomass is converted into new biomass. Most consumed biomass is lost as carbon dioxide, water, and heat energy. The 10% rule helps to explain why warm, sunny, wet areas have more living organisms. Those areas can produce more plant biomass, which is the basis for the matter and energy found in all other living organisms in that ecosystem. For this week, we'll be focusing on biodiversity and ecosystems, and we'll be asking how the number and variety of species affect the function and strength of an ecosystem. We will also ask why some ecosystems are more fragile than others, and we'll look into why and how new areas acquire new and different species. We'll also look at why some species disappear or go extinct over time. For this week, we'll have a very similar agenda. On day one, you'll have one of two options, or maybe both. You'll either do option A, Tabletop Ecosystems, or option B, Rocky Mountain Ecosystems Data Dive. Again, on day two, you'll have core ideas, which will provide you with more detailed information about the questions that come up on day one. On day three, you'll be doing an investigation called the Meadow Simulation, which is a computer simulation comprised of a simplistic ecosystem comprised of grass, foxes, and rabbits. On day 4, you'll have a review and assessment, and if there's time, on day 5, you'll do career and community connections. For day 1, you have two options. Option A is the tabletop ecosystem. The goal in this is to create a sealed container which makes a small tabletop ecosystem consisting of algae, shrimp, and bacteria. And the goal and purpose of this is to use this tabletop ecosystem as a model to help you understand the criteria and conditions needed for any ecosystem to function. Option B is the Rocky Mountain ecosystems. This is a data dive involving an actual scenario in which you will debate why the National Park Service is especially concerned about the impact of hikers who leave the trail at high elevations in Rocky Mountain National Park. And the goal of this is to use a real-world case study to understand the applications of ecology in authentic scenarios.